Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Attorney Jeremy Hogan has shared what he believes are the four possibilities, the four potential outcomes in the SEC versus Ripple case. And he shared information including what he thinks the timeline could be for each potential outcome and what that looks like, which I found rather insightful since I don't have any sort of legal background whatsoever. It's really nice to have a number of people that are being rather vocal that are actually attorneys kind of sharing their opinion, because without all of these individuals, all of us XRP holders, we'd be a bit lost in the woods here. So it's really nice that there's a really big XRP community and a lot of people that are willing to share their thoughts and opinions here. And so I'm going to run through that, but I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I just find it interesting to talk about these topics. I'm an XRP holder myself, so I've got skin in the game, and I run this YouTube channel purely as a hobby. And so you can see here is a headline from CoinDesk. Ripple to meet with SEC in first pre-trial conference on February 22nd. Now, this is not new news. You can see this article is actually from December 30th, 2020. But we'll be approaching that date not too long from now. It's just a matter of weeks away. And it's nice now to have some additional insight into what that actually means and what to watch for as XRP holders. And it's also kind of fun to cite this too. So they have this little correction at the bottom of the article, and they wrote, "This is the first meeting between the two sides since the filing, not the start of the trial position." And so in crypto media, because it's crypto media, it's a bunch of C students writing articles, they all are misstating the case that this was the beginning of the Ripple trial. Pick your crypto media outlet. They were all just parroting each other. In fact, many of the crypto media sites out there, you might find this to be a fun fact if you were unaware. And I just know this because I check like tons of different sites. You'll see that somebody will write a story, and it'll be almost like if it's not verbatim, almost exactly copied into some other lesser known site, and then somebody will copy that one. And it's interesting too because you usually get this lag effect where like somebody's first to the story, then it's copied, but they don't notice it and get it out until the next day, and then somebody else copies the copy of the copy, and it goes out to the next day, and there we go, crypto media, everybody, a bunch of C students. I just find it fascinating, but I do want to give credit where it's due. Now, all of the opinions shared regarding the direction of where things might go here come from attorney Jeremy Hogan. I always want to give credit where it's due. And not only that, I want to prop up those that are meaningfully contributing to the XRP community. And attorney Jeremy Hogan unquestionably is doing that. And so here's his channel that's on your screen right now. It's called Legal Briefs. And so I would like to encourage all of you to take a moment to type that into the YouTube search bar. Just type in Legal Briefs. He will pop right on up, and subscribe. He puts out videos on crypto. I could be mistaken. I apologize, Jeremy, if I'm wrong, but I think your aim anyway is typically once a week on the crypto side of things. And I'll tell you what, he's been experiencing a meteoric rise in terms of YouTube subscribers and views, and I would say deservedly so. Look at this. He's up to 24,300 subscribers, so congrats to you, my friend. You deserve it, unquestionably. So there you go. I hope I can send some people your way, because I know that the XRP community absolutely values what you're putting out here. So let's talk about this stuff, and I'm going to share my opinions along the way, but as far as the legal stuff, this comes from Jeremy Hogan, so they're again not my original ideas. He's also not offering financial advice. To be clear, he is not your attorney, and I have no legal background, so obviously that applies to me as well. But this is not the start, by the way, again, as I just stated, this is not the start of the SEC versus Ripple trial, okay? It's a standard federal court initial hearing. And so it's actually basically just a phone conference. You're going to have the judge and then one lawyer from each side. So one from the SEC, one from Ripple. And as it turns out, from what Jeremy said, it's just kind of standard practice these days. And so, both parties, Ripple and the SEC, they're required to file a proposed case management order. And they had the deadline was February 15th. And so I don't know if they've done that yet. It doesn't really matter as long as it gets done by then, that they'll be fine. Which will give you all of the deadlines associated with the case as well as the date that the trial will begin. Because again, to this point, the actual trial start date hasn't even been set. And so, it's kind of guessing that the trial will begin in September 2021. That's the closest that he could reasonably suspect this would take place. Now, the reason he thinks the case won't settle for 6 to 9 months from now is that the discovery phase of this whole process won't be complete until then. And so during the discovery phase, Ripple will have to send all sorts of information to the SEC regarding sales of XRP, among other things. And as a result, until discovery is complete, you don't really know how strong your opponent's case is. And until you know how strong your opponent's case is, you won't know if it makes sense to settle or not. And if so, if it makes sense to settle, with what parameters in place. Because even if you really just want to get this behind you, even if with the new leadership of the SEC coming in, and even if something changes, you don't really know how much you have to give, basically, right? And so, and Jeremy acknowledges also, he says, look, Ripple could settle sooner than that, which could happen if the new SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, decides this is not the right time to pursue such a case, or if he wants to, basically take another approach to this whole process here. Because understand that with the previous SEC chair, Jeremy Clayton, I'm sorry, Jeremy Clayton, Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton, he was under a different administration, and his whole thought process to whatever degree certainly would have been different than Jay's, his prerogative, whatever it may be. Now, Gary Gensler, even though he had stated some things that at a minimum on the surface sound really bad about XRP in terms of its classification of a security, those comments primarily, if not exclusively, took place in 2018, and a lot has changed since then in terms of the state of the XRP ledger, decentralization, things along those lines. And also, it's interesting to note that Gary Gensler, he does seem to have a very genuinely fundamental understanding of how XRP has utility as a bridge currency. And there's something to that that's good. I mean, he's pro-crypto in a general sense. And so I don't know what exactly, nobody can know what's going to happen with all this, but I certainly get the sense that he's been genuine to this point. And I don't think that who would want to be this guy? I don't think he's going to be the guy that comes out, he gets in place and then he just crushes the entire cryptocurrency asset class. Look, he's pro Bitcoin, but I don't think that means that he wants to be the guy that ruins all opportunity in the United States, by setting, ridiculous legal precedent. I don't get the sense that that's what he's shooting for here. But anyway, as far as this, as far as Gary Gensler coming in, like I said, maybe he could decide that it's not the right time to pursue such a case, or wants to take a different approach. And if you think about it, if that's the case, and that's an if, but Jeremy Hogan stated if that's the case, that could happen at any point during the next 6 months. So that means once Gary's in charge, it could be the next day. I mean, not that I'd expect it to literally be the next day, but it could just be the next day that he's in, and then you get some sort of news to this effect, right? Aside from that, mediation may also occur in September or October of 2021. That was the closest range that he could kind of hone in for when he'd expect mediation to occur. And so mediation is a process where both parties have to agree to have a third-party lawyer that's experienced in that area of law work with both parties to try to reach a settlement agreement. And so mediation works more than 50% of the time, which was an interesting stat that Jeremy put out there. And I was like, that's interesting. Hopefully, Ripple and the SEC in this particular case are going to be on, that side of the 50%, right? I certainly hope so. But see, that's why federal courts require it for every case. There will be a full day of mediation with Ripple and the SEC, and that's where a settlement is most likely to occur, actually. And so I had no idea, because again, no legal background here. I had no idea. It's like the amount of information and level of detail that Jeremy Hogan was sharing here is just like, make my brain explode. I had not found this anywhere else. And I'm seeking from every lawyer that's willing to talk on the topic, I'm seeking out as much information as I can find so that I can share it on this channel and give whoever it is that's sharing the information proper credit. Of course, I'll always do that. But it's hard to find. And so this, I watch it's like every video I watch from Jeremy, it's just like a gold mine. It just is, which is why you should definitely, again, subscribe to his channel if you've not done so. That's my humble opinion. Next here, so jury trial, as it turns out, according to Jeremy, not likely. I'm sorry, wait, let me make sure I didn't skip something. I had some notes here. Okay, no, I didn't. We're good. Yeah, so a jury trial not likely, and the case will likely be decided as a summary judgment if it hasn't been settled up to that point. And so I think that most XRP holders, it'd be my fair guess that we're hoping that you just get a settlement prior to that. But this means that both parties agree on the facts at hand, and that it's up to the judge to determine as a matter of law what the outcome of the case is. If there's going to be a summary judgment rather than a jury trial. And so this may occur, if it's going to occur, around October of 2021. And so, look, if either party decides to appeal the result of the summary judgment, though, or if there's a jury trial that happens instead, and then there's an appeal after that, that could extend the timeline of this debacle potentially into early 2023. And unfortunately, even then, that wouldn't really be the end of the story. So those are several potential outcomes. And again, like I said, I think the vast majority of us would really hope that there would just be some sort of settlement. And I don't know. It just seems tough because I still don't know what's likely, to be honest with you, because it kind of seems like there are a number of attorneys I'm following that actually still do think that might be more likely. I'm also listening to, for instance, John Deaton, another attorney, who seems to think after Ripple put out their most recent legal proclamation, The Answer, it seems that from his perspective, they made settlement less likely because they were pushing for a final legal determination of what XRP is. And so even though they put that out, it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be a settlement. I think that it looks like Ripple, to me, like they're just going in guns blazes with this document, their response to the initial filing of the SEC versus Ripple, going in with all of the arguments. And of course, they have a cream of the crop, legal team. So that's not particularly surprising. They've done a bang up job, it seems, so far. Even the legal minds out there that I'm tracking here, they all of them are pretty well praising what's being done here in terms of what Ripple's legal teams put out there. But it could be the case that they're just positioning. I'm not sure. Is it going to ultimately be the case that even though they're coming out guns blazing saying, yes, we demand us effectively this kind of legal clarification around what XRP is it a security or not? Could it be the case that even though they're stating that in this most recent legal filing, that they are still absolutely willing to settle? I hope the answer is yes. Personally, just as an XRP holder, I would love this to just be behind us. And kind of, another interesting thing to consider as well is if there's a settlement over any of these timelines, at any of these portions, along the way that Jeremy was citing here, if it happens, that would be this calendar year, virtual certainty, right? And if that happens, it's highly likely that this most recent crypto bull market that we're now in will not be over yet. And so, I've seen cryptos run in the bear market over the last few years. There's been some here and there. I personally would prefer XRP to run in a bull market, but I still think outside of that, and this is not financial advice, I'm just sharing with you my thoughts on this. Once there's legal clarity, or this thing's settled, even if you don't get final sufficient legal clarity on whether or not XRP is a security, well, the courts can't come after Ripple again, so you'd still be fine. But once there's that, even, I still think you're going to see a run on XRP. And so I'm taking that bet. I'm taking that risk. It is riskier to hold XRP as a result of all this, but I decided I'm taking that risk, and we're just going to see what the hell happens. And hopefully I don't lose everything, because that's a possibility, but I don't think I will. If I do, okay, fine, that's my own adult decision. And also I'm investing in other cryptocurrencies, so I don't think I'm going to completely ruin this entire bull market for myself. I sure as hell hope not. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. But thank you so much for stopping by. And again, please check out Jeremy Hogan's channel, Legal Briefs. He's just killing it out there. But I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.